Okay, October 12th, we're out on the farm. Right now we're going to be feeding the spring kitters. This is always a dangerous thing. We're hoping to get a swinging gate attached over here today. Way back next to me. I see that. Hey girl. Oh no, oh no, Cagney. Hey, you've got this. Don't do that again, okay? Never a dull moment with you goats. Yeah, that was quite a death nap that one was taking. Had me fooled. All right, now let's look to see. So today I think we're going to sort out some of the pet ones and take them up to a buck that had injured his shoulder, and that will be their breeding pen. Hey guys. Come on, Lippy. Oh, shoot. And of course, you dingleberries. You dingleberries. It's always the tame ones that come around. Okay, well, you should have stayed. Go ahead. Oh, just beautiful. Come on, Jill. Jill. Time to walk these girls out for their exercise. So I did have someone ask me what pregnancy disease is. What I'm referring to is pregnancy toxemia or ketosis. And what happens is at this late stage of pregnancy, sometimes that baby is taking more glucose, calcium, all of that from the mom than what is getting put into her. And so you need to make sure, and there's a lot of factors that go into them getting that. Obviously, inadequate feed. If the doe has a heavy worm load, and if they're too fat, too thin, too old, have multiples in them. Come on, Jill! You gotta go get Jill. And if they're confined. So what we have found is at this late stage of the game, some people grain. We don't during this time of the year just because it's still warm out, but we do feed our high quality alfalfa to them in the evening, and then we take them out. Come on, Jill. Jill, come on. We're going. Jill, come on, we're going. You're gonna miss the boat. Jill. Jill, Jill. Come on. Let's go. You're not kidding yet. Come on. Jill, let's go, Jill. Look, everybody's gone. Come on, Jill. Come on, Jill. Jill, come on, everybody's going. So, in order to combat it, like I said, we feed high quality alfalfa. Alfalfa is pretty high in calcium, in sugars, and protein and energy for these girls. We feel that if we feed grain, because we've done that in the past, a lot of that goes to the babies. and you end up with really big babies. Now, some producers like that. We don't. We like for these girls to have their kids on their own, for it not to be a traumatic birth for them, especially since a lot of these are first timers. And so we don't like to have to pull kids. So we prefer the method of feeding them alfalfa. And then we also make sure that they get adequate exercise. So we don't confine our goats. Wintertime it's a little bit harder, but it's a different ball game in the winter, because what you're fighting is the cold and not so much the confinement. So we do make sure in the wintertime that we set the bales at the far end, so they do have to walk out for them. Sometimes it's not always possible with the amount of snow. So we do the best we can in the winter, but fall kidding, we walk these girls out. So they are getting exercise. Yeah. So yeah, that's the long and short answer to pregnancy disease. And it's going to be a warmer day today. Yesterday, I think it topped out at 62. And we're already past that. I think today the high is going to be in the 70s, low 70s. October 13th, out here on the farm. It's only 44 degrees out today, guys. And we are expecting a frost warning tonight. So let's see what kind of stuff we can do. Looks like the guys are going to go spread some manure today. Shoot, I think Ron even got out his overalls today. Whoop. So I put in a new swinging gate to make this a little bit easier on ourselves. And it worked really good. Oh. They moved this just a little bit, which is fine. Move that back. Okay, so we sorted some off that we're gonna put with a different buck. Now I'm gonna see if I can catch little Oreo. Oh, and put her in, because there she is. So I'm gonna turn off the camera while we do that little action. Okay, that didn't work as well as what we had hoped, but we couldn't get the other one in that we had wanted to, because the other ones tried jumping out of the trailer into our arms. So it happens when you have a whole bunch of really tame ones. Naughty girls. So, shoot. So now I'm just gonna fill up the buckets here. Go on down there, feed the rest of them. Yeah, busy day. Lots of grain harvesting going on, so it's a little dangerous to be out on the road right now, honestly. That's the tough thing. Grain harvest is they're in a hurry. They got trucks going down the road, and we had to tie up our guard dogs, because our neighbors were also moving their cattle. And guard dogs are not super excited about having cattle out on the road, but we made sure that they were back in where they needed to, where they would be out of the way. So took a little doing, but they're coming around. Some of them are a little not smart, but that's okay. Come on, Fatty! Come on, Fatty! Let's go! A little myototic cross. Oh, they get so chunky. So we decided to bring some of our pets up here to be a little closer to us and put in with Lucy. They're pretty docile, and Lucy had gotten his shoulder broken last year, so we wanted to bring him some does that maybe are a little tamer for him. Isn't that right, Butters? Oh, Butters. He's hard being Butters. You be nice to Butters. And this gal was just getting bumped away from everything up there because she's so docile. So bringing them down here, giving them their own little pen and feed. Okay, so yesterday afternoon, it's a nice afternoon. We spent some of that time cleaning out this corner of the shop and putting the stuff. We have a pit that we put it in. So we had these that were just kind of sitting around in our yard, and we may yet again use them, but what they are is they're creep feeders for goats. And if they weren't packed against the wall, I could give you a little bit better look at these. And and now we have stuff stacked on top of them, which happens. And so nice thing is you open these and you put the grain in, and then in the front of these, then they eat there. But that was when we were feeding soybean hull pellets. And so with the soybean hull pellets, everybody else kind of caught on to them, and the price of soybeans went up. And then the price of the soybean hull pellets went up, so then we quit feeding them. They were very much a complete feed and really did like them, but it got too expensive to be feeding them to the goats. And soybean prices fell this year. Well, soybean hull pellets prices went back down. So isn't that kind of the way that goes for everything? So I'm going to walk the spring kidders around to their water, and then I'm going to go back up to our main place, to the hoop barn, and going to bed down the weanling side of the barn. We already have the fall kidder side bedded down, but I'm going to bed down the weanling side because tonight it's supposed to get to the freezing point. So we do have a frost warning coming in, and so decided it might be a good idea to bed that down for them so they can go on in. Oh, it really worked well today to have them come through this swinging gate. So that was really nice to have this, because we had been taking them through there, and it's just really hard to lift those panels sometimes. So it's nice having this here. They hadn't yet figured out that this is where we're going to take them through, so they weren't pushing against it too bad. But we're gonna have to bring some bales out for these girls today. Yeah, some first cutting for you guys. So I'll get that set up so the guys can bring it when they take a break from spreading manure. Right now, holy cow, I think they're done. So we have to take our big piles of manure, and we're going to spread them on our south field. But we were waiting because these guys were coming up and down this section line doing their soybean fields, and they are done. Wow, that took them like 2 hours to do. It looks like that. I think that's a quarter of land. I guess when you got 4 combines. Yeah. So hopefully the dogs will stay off the road. I'm gonna scare the goats. But that's an pretty impressive operation when you've got 4 combines running, and I think they've got 3 semis out there, and those semis were just running back and forth. So we decided we're gonna wait until they're done. Our tractor with the manure spreader up and down that road, you can't go very fast with that, and we just didn't want to be in their way because they're in a rush You know, there's only so big of a window usually this time of the year to harvest, and they probably have a lot of other places that they've got to do the harvest, so we stay out of their way when they're doing it. Oh, nice combines though. So we spent some of yesterday kind of cleaning up around the place. You're never going to have a pristine place. There's always old junk sitting around that you think, hey, we'll get a use out of that. Thinking about hauling this old trailer up and making that into a shelter of sorts. We'd have to really put the sides in, or board up the sides, but it makes a nice goat shelter for sure. But you can only fit like 5 or 6 goats in there. So yeah, we just been cleaning stuff up in anticipation of when we have to start moving snow, because if you have stuff sitting around, you start moving snow, and then pretty soon you run into stuff because the snow covers it. Isn't that right, Naomi? So yeah, just the things that we didn't have a chance to do this summer as we were dodging storms and all the rain. And oh, she's a little loose. Might have to give her probiotics tomorrow. So yeah, those type of projects. It's nice to have an open fall. We've had some winters that started in September and lasted until June. So when we have falls that are like this, you know, the temperatures maybe 60 degrees today, but it's pleasant still. The sun's shining. When the sun's not shining, that's when it gets a little chilly. The wind is blowing a bit, but brought these gals around to water. Stay! No! See, this is why not all of them get to water. See, they're only going there. They're stopping right at the trees. You don't need to hurry. They're such herd animals that when the herd leaves, even though they really want to drink and they're really thirsty, they won't drink. They'll go just to stay with the herd, which understand. You know, we've got a lot of coyotes around here, and staying with the herd is the safest bet. But nice part about this, it's pretty flat, so they can still see the herd and they can run back and grab some water. Queenie, I'm so disappointed that you are not pregnant. That's my nephew's show goat there, and she is Big Red's daughter. She's absolutely lovely, but she didn't get bred for fall kidding. Last year, she, as a yearling, she had kids, beautiful babies, for the fall kidding season, but we have a little more in our spring kidding group than what we like. So we may have to make those tough decisions of, we may have to sell some. Yeah, it's hard when you've got some really nice goats in here. You know, which ones do you let go of? You know, do you let go of the older girls? You know, we have maybe 20 in here that are 3 years old and older, and then the rest are 2-year-olds and yearlings. So we have a young herd, which is what we wanted. We got rid of a lot of our really older does last year. You know, a lot of them were still good, but you need to do some turnover in your herd. And so we might, it's hard to let go of these older girls though too, because, you know, the 20 of them that are older, there's a reason why we kept them. You know, they raise really excellent babies. They've still got really nice udders, and they have the most parasite resistance because they've been on our land for the longest. And yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. So, and right now everybody else is starting to get rid of their goats just because, you know, it looks like it's going to be a drought year next year. And so how do you feed that many goats? We're lucky enough that we have a nice stockpile of feed for our goats. So we did sell some of our alfalfa from last year that we didn't feed up, but we still have quite a bit sitting over there. So that's nice. And then even though with the hail damage on our alfalfa this year, we didn't get as many bales as what we had gotten last year. You know, last year was, you know, a bumper crop year for us for alfalfa. So, yeah. So we're good if we have to keep these gals. So, well, see, they're coming back for water. I just got excited for some reason. So I'm going to sneak out of here and let them be out grazing. So, yeah. There's a lot of thought that goes into how many you keep, you know, and we're fortunate enough we have really nice goats, so it's not so much of, ooh, that's not a really nice goat, so we'll sell it. You know, for us they're all really nice goats. Who do we sell? You know? Oh, because like this gal right here on the right hand side, she's 5 years old and she raises the most beautiful babies. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's not the prettiest doe in the world, but she has a beautiful udder on her, and yeah, she raises really nice babies. So when you have a herd of, you know, 200 plus that everybody raises really nice babies, you know, who do you get rid of? And so that's always been a bit of an issue for us because it's hard to let them go. It really is, you know. Yes, they're livestock. We have them. We raise them for money, but we also get pretty attached to them because they're such good girls, and we spend a lot of time with them. So it's hard to get rid of them. But we also have to keep in mind that we have about 80 head of doelings that'll be coming up for fall kidding next year. So how many is too many? Okay. So just came up here, cleared a path for getting the bales put in, so when the guys have some time or want to take a break, they can run out and grab some first cutting, put out here with these girls. So it looks like they've got a grain cart and another semi. And they're out of here. Yay. Good for them. I mean, that's a lot of harvesting to do in that short of a time. But it's nice to be out here while they're doing it so we can keep the dogs near us and out of the way. Like I said, we had some neighbors move some cattle this morning, so we did have to lock up the guard dogs. They did that last year, and our guard dogs know them. They don't know them. So it's not like they're gonna rip their arm off when they come to move them or to try and lock them up or tie them up if we're not there. But yeah, it's just easier if we're there. The dogs come with us. We just put them in the barn so they're not sitting in the way or trying to, they won't chase the cattle, but they'll start barking at the side-by-sides. they're familiar with the cattle. They know not to chase the cattle. The cattle are not a threat, but to them, the people in the side-by-sides that have dogs with them, yeah, they wanna get to those dogs because those dogs are on their turf and might hurt our goats. So just doing their job, and thankfully we have neighbors that understand that. So we're gonna sit here while these guys go by. So where we're spreading this manure, this pile of manure, is actually not our field. It's my brother's field, and he rents it out to Zach, the guy that does our farming for us. So he had some low-lying spots that alkaline was coming up in the soil. This will do really good on there, and so we're doing probably going to do a little horse trading with him on you know, we'll spread this on your fields, and then either you pay us for you know, the time and everything like that, because let's be honest, fertilizer is expensive. So either you pay us for it, or we might have him spray some weeds for us this year. So yeah, but we have the manure right here. And improving the land is our aim with buying this new manure spreader. So once we get done with this pile, then the two big piles go down on our field south. And if we are able to cover the whole field and still have manure left over, we do have two other quarters of land. They're just a lot farther away, so we'll have to do it a little bit differently. But hopefully by then we'll have the skid steer back. So I don't know if I told you guys what happened, because we were really not sure what happened, but thankfully my nephew was the one running it and noticed that it was running a little different, or something was going on. He got out and the axle had broke, and you know, we've only put 70 hours on this brand new skid steer. So luckily, that being said, it is under warranty. So for this last week, our skid steer has been in the shop getting repaired, and my husband, lucky him, since he is a tractor repair person, and that we bought the skid steer through who he works for, he got to fix it. So unfortunately, even though it was fixed at the end of this week, their delivery person, who was supposed to deliver it back, because they're about 25 miles away from us, so it's not like you can drive it back, but you know, you're on the highway and everything like that. So their delivery person was out delivering other stuff, so we won't get that back until next week. So if we can still just use what we're doing right now, and it'll work just fine. But if we have to haul manure all the way over to our other quarter, which is about, I'd say about 8 more miles south and east or west of us, then maybe not even that, maybe 6 miles, but still hauling the tractor back and forth, you know, not a really smart way of doing it. So what we would do then is we would use the dump trailer and move the manure spreader loaded over there, and the dump trailer then would be the one that's going back and forth. We'd have to have a tractor over there to load the manure spreader, and a tractor here to load the dump trailer. So either that, or we just, you know, take the manure over there first, you know, get a big old pile, and then we take the skid steer and the manure spreader over there, or the New Holland tractor. So we do have to have a functioning tractor here because of the chores, you know, that we have. So right now the New Holland It's so funny because we haven't had a tractor break down for a very long time, and so the New Holland breaks down, and it's in the shop for about 3 weeks is what it took to fix that one. And then as soon as we get that one back, then our brand new skid steer breaks down. So I don't know if that's a reflection on New Holland or if that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But yeah, I don't think that's a reflection of the New Holland brand. But it's just, as long as it doesn't happen in the dead of winter when we can't get anything out of here to get it fixed. So this was actually a good time for it to happen. We do have other tractors, you know, right now the manure spreader is on our Ford tractor, our older Ford tractor that we use to do the raking, and which is fine. And we also have the front wheel assist over here that we can use as well. They're just older tractors, you know. Luckily we don't need AC this time of the year. The doors are off of our little Ford tractor that my nephew's using to spread the manure, and he's actually getting cold. He's like, maybe we should have put the doors back on, but you know, we took the doors off because that's our air conditioning for that tractor. And with the wind blowing like it is today, he's getting a little chilly in there, so they're gonna stop, take a little break to do lunch, and then they'll be back out here to be spreading manure. That's what they're gonna be doing for the next probably week. And JR goes back to school and his job Monday, so we got a lot of just different things to do. Okay, so these bales are our first cutting of alfalfa. Again, the alfalfa we took off the field because we had to because of the hail damage. And these ones, we don't bother putting them in a cage. We just set them out here. So usually we don't set them up on end like that. Because we've had in the past where they eat on one side and then they've tipped it over on themselves and trapped a doe underneath. Oh, you can't win for losing sometimes, but since these ones fall apart so easily, I'm not real worried about it with these girls. So we'll just keep an eye on it like everything else. Just keep an eye on it. So I'll close this back up, and then I'm gonna go bed down the hoop barn, and then maybe I'll go home and get something to eat. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Okay, so now we have this part bedded down for the fall kidders, and then this part bedded down for the weanlings to come in tonight when it gets super chilly. So hoping that it doesn't get so cold that the water freezes, but it has happened before. I think they're saying that it's supposed to get to like 25 tonight, and then it'll bounce back up into the 30s, 40s in the evening time. So we're not too concerned about the waters. We can always thaw them out in very short period of time. So yeah, so I think now that done, and I might take a little bit of a break before coming back out here this evening.